Hi, Roy here on my channel, Roy Reads Anything, which is me talking about books that are old, strange, interesting, or just weird. And today, two things. Main thing is I'm going to talk about a book haul from a trip I made today. Um, I'm also, as you will see, wearing what's known as an ascot. I thought I would attempt this as a potential style choice and as a life experience I've yet to have had, and there aren't many of them left. However, following a family meeting, it's been decided this will be the last time that you or anybody will see me actually wearing this item, so enjoy it while you can. On the books, I went on a trip to Southport, and I went to lovely sunny day through my own town and then on to Southport. Went to a shop called Broadhurst. I might have a picture of that outside. And here's what I got. Well, one thing I got's a paper bag. Was given the choice, paper or plastic. Went for the paper option. And
Do they still wrap them up in brown paper and string if you want them?
do they still wrap them up in brown paper and string? That wasn't offered, I must say. Yeah. I guess I could have thumped the counter and demanded brown paper and string. Um, so the main thing I got, so it's a second-hand, it's a new shop and also second-hand. It has three, perhaps more floors of second-hand stuff as you work your way up the shop. And over the years, I've found quite a few pulp items lurking around. So this time I got three paperback books by Lee Falk about a character called the Phantom. I don't really know much about the Phantom. I know he's in comics and newspaper strips, but I've never really read those. Um, I the only Phantom I've ever consumed was from a toy called Flashy Flickers. Flashy Flickers was a sort of projection gun, plastic mid 60s toy which you had these sort of reels of like film, but they were basically still cartoon stills, and each time you pressed the trigger, it would advance the picture by one, and it would kind of unspool itself into a little sort of round receptacle. So a battery powered projector that looked like a ray gun. I'll hopefully have a picture of that.
God, you had a dodgy
Which,
childhood.
well, is a popular toy, but I always found it very fiddly to do. No one, you got to find, not only load up these spools of film, you've then got to find a space that's dark enough to actually see the projection. No one else was ever interested. And as for the it promised you your favorite cartoon characters, but like it's like the Phantom, who, um, High and Lois, who are
What?
they? So it was more fun just to pretend it was a ray gun, really. But it did have this Phantom character, and I gather he's a sort of, in some ways, a costumed superhero, but also like a sort of jungle character too. So I haven't quite got my head around that. That would make sense. Jungle comics remained popular when the superheroes were tanking after the 40s. Um, yeah. Anyway, Phantom books. So there were three of those in beautiful condition. They appear to be unread. Um,
Wow.
who is the Phantom? Obviously, a masked man who rides a horse. Why is he also known as the ghost who walks and the man who cannot die? Is he really 400 years old? It is whispered that he who looks upon the phantom's unmasked face will die instantly in agony. The masked
Wasn't
hero.
she?
This masked hero is the nemesis of evildoers everywhere who know and fear his dreaded sign of the skull. Over 100 million readers all over the world know and love the Phantom and follow his stirring adventures in 40 languages. He's the most widely read adventure hero on Earth today. So, got to get on board with that, and finally I am. So, got the story of the Phantom, seems to be the first in the series. Um, don't know who painted these amazing covers. I've got number 4, the Veiled Lady. What secrets does she hide from the world? Precious, they're good at asking questions here. You should be giving us the answers. You're the ones who wrote the book. Precious treasure, unimaginable danger. Many have died trying to find out.
Well, they're all a bit deadly, all these people.
I know, yeah, yeah. And then vampires and the witch, like Phoebe and the Bean. A plague of human vampires, a 300-year-old witch who, legend says, can only be freed from her chains and returned to youth and beauty by a phantom kiss. Incredible in the 20th century? Question mark. Yet a tiny nation is terrorized by these ghastly beings who inhabit a medieval torture chamber beneath an ancient castle ruin. Follow the phantom through a chilling web of superstition, fear, and deadly danger. So those look awesome. Got those. Also picked up a Western by Luke Short. Really just because folks have been talking about Luke Short on Michael K. Vaughan's Discord. They sounded fun. It was cheap. It's published by the New English Library and like the cover. So got Luke Short there for future Western reading. And finally from Broadhurst, The Scarlet Seed, Edith Pargeter. So Edith Pargeter, historical novelist, who then later became, I guess, more successful as Ellis, writing as Ellis Peters' Brother Cadfael monastic historical detective stories. And we're listening to those on Audible, and they're really good. So I thought perhaps an Edith Pargeter historical would be fun as well, although it's the third volume of a trilogy. So should have paid a bit more attention there. Cool cover. I'll have to go back now, pick up the rest of them.
They're
So
really good.
that was that. They're really good, says Dr.
Well,
Jenny,
you
who
won't be
has read them.
disappointed.
You will not be disappointed. Then had a cup of tea to recover, and I went to the other second-hand bookshop, one where you go down a rather scary-looking alleyway lined with books into the shop, and there I bought One Thing, The Assassin Manhattan Massacre. So, men's adventure book, number 1 in a series, where clearly incredibly derivative of Don Pendleton's Executioner series. Robert Briganti is the assassin, ruthless, indifferent to his own survival. He lives only to destroy the mafia. With a hand-picked arsenal of superweapons, he stalks his enemy, kills without mercy, and moves on to his next target. He knows the mafia will get him sooner or later. He hopes it will be much later. There is always much more killing to be done. So one for the Garb August receptacle there. And that was nearly it, though. On the way back to the bus, popped into a charity shop where books cost 2 for £1. So for my pound, I got a John Christopher science fiction novel, The World in Winter. Um, I've not read much John Christopher. I think he's really good at these, like, global disasters. Um, so, yeah, good. New Ice Age begins, and they had a
Oh,
whole shelf of Star Trek novels. Could have, I suppose, picked up tons and tons of them. I got one in the Captain's Table series, book 4 of 6. This one's Catherine Janeway, in her own words. Um, we've actually listened recently again on audio to a Catherine Janeway autobiography novel by Una McCormack that was really good. Yeah, a bit more Catherine Janeway. Um, there is a bar called the Captain's Table, one in the great history of science fiction bars, inns, taverns, etc., where those who have commanded mighty vessels of every shape and era can meet, relax, and share a friendly drink or two with others of their calling. Sometimes a brawl may break out. It's all in the family, more or less. Just remember, the first round of drinks is always paid for with a story, even in the Delta Quadrant.
Even.
Nice idea, that. Yeah, very happy with that. Not so happy with this, but hey, it's something I've done. It was only a cheap one. Actually came with a um, matching handkerchief and some cufflinks. I think if I were I to flaunt the whole ensemble,
No.
your
No.
horror and disgust would be
No. Soon you'd be
greater.
wearing pink trousers and playing golf.
It is in the pink
Oh my
trouser
God.
sort of realm, isn't it?
No. No.
Normal sartorial status is restored.
Yeah.
On that note, say goodbye, everybody. See you next time with
Bye,
something
everybody.
else. Bye from Dr. Jenny. Okay.